Hey guys, JKMan99 here, and welcome to my Lost videos. Alright, so we are once again doing the 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42 top 10 lists. So in other words, they're top 10 lists, but instead of using 10, we're using one of the 6 Lost numbers. And in this case, we're using 4 because these are the least favorite scenes of Lost. So I love Lost so much that I don't really think there are that many poorly written, acted scenes. So therefore, we're using the smallest number. We're using 4 because there's only 4 I want to talk about today. Starting with number 4. There's another YouTuber out there that I used to watch during season 6 and 5 of Lost, and it was Mr. James. Go back and watch Mr. James' Lost Thoughts. Give it a shot. I have a link below to his channel. Great videos, and I'm going to use a clip of his right now to describe the 4th worst scene of Lost. So, here we go. I'm going to start off with the Mr. James scene, but we are now officially going to talk about the top 4 worst scenes of Lost. Alright, so Mr. James couldn't say it better himself. Here's his clip.
The scene of Flocke and Jack running towards each other and then fighting will go down as one of the greatest and worst scenes in the history of television.
And I completely agree, but for different reasons. Number 4, Jack versus Locke fistfight scene. Okay, so I realize this is supposed to be the climax of the entire show, right? But what is it really? It's just 2 middle-aged men having a mediocre boxing match on the top of a hill. That's it. That's the scene. And it's like everything comes down to this. Everything is coming down to just some random fist fight. Now, Mr. James and I have a different opinion. He thinks that this scene is amazing, and what he actually thinks is the worst part of it is how it ends with Kate. Now, I agree that the Kate part isn't great either, but neither is the first part. Like, this scene is supposed to be like encompassing the entire show, and just for where the show is, how big the show is, I think it just deserved better than a silly little fist fight scene on a hill. I mean, oh my god, even the music that's playing, in this case I'm criticizing the music, it reminded me of like a Star Trek TOS scene. Da, 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 da. Like, honestly, it reminded me of something like that, and it's like, oh my god. Like, and I remember even at the time, it kind of took me out of it. I was like, really? This is where they're going with this? So that was my thoughts on this one. I just think that I'm not even sure what they could have done here. Maybe the fight itself just needed to be better. Obviously, like when he gets stabbed or whatever, you kind of like connected to whatever's going on in the flash sideways, and even that though, that kind of distracts from the fight itself because you're like, oh wait a minute, oh what's going on, you know? And which maybe, you know, they're trying to do that, but I mean, like, but the season before, like, you had the Jack Sawyer fight, and that scene was much better with the Jack Sawyer scene. So I don't know. I mean, if it was something similar to that, I would have gone for it. But just I don't know. There was something about the scene just didn't work for me.
You used exactly enough.
Number 3, Sayid laughing scene. Okay, so this episode, I'm not even sure this episode needed to exist. It's not my least favorite episode or anything like that. You already know that. But okay, so Sayid gets captured, and then they decide to put him on true serum. And actually, the one thing that works in this scene is that Sayid does a great exposition dump. Like, it tells you that he knows what's going on, and that's kind of good for your audience members that are really paying attention to all these details, right? It's kind of neat to hear Sayid, of all people, like, read everything back, because, you know, he dislikes the island so much, so that's why it's like, oh, but he dislikes everything, but Like he really knows what's going on though, which is pretty cool. But then the scene ends horribly. They say, "Oh, well, maybe we didn't use enough." And boom, scene, end it. Then they did that horrible Sayid laugh at the end. You used already enough. Ha 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 ha. Oh God, like that did not work. It just was I'm sorry, but it was a bad acting choice. It was a bad editing choice, because I mean, unless that was the only take, I don't know why you leave that in. It just didn't look good. Number 2, Kate leaving Aaron. Okay, this is the only time in the entire show where the great Michael Giacchino score does not work with the visuals. So you got Kate, Evangeline Lilly, like acting her heart out here, saying goodbye to her son as she's about to go back to the island, and you should have the feels in this scene, but I don't. Okay, I don't know about you, but I do not. When I watch this scene, I'm just like, what you want is you want that kid to be like, "Where are you going, Mom?" And and Kate having to be like, "Oh, I'm just running off to the store or something. I'll see you later." Like that would have been an amazing, heartbreaking scene. But instead, she is crying over a kid who is just sleeping. And that's all you get in the scene and the score. And it just, I remember when they're just zooming on this motionless kid there. It's like, oh, give me something here. You know what I mean? Why are you crying? Like it's difficult. You know why she is, but it just doesn't match up with what's happening. And maybe I'm one of the few people who feels this way about this scene. I don't know, but I just of all the times they use I think it's the score that bothers me. Like they use the score so many times, like when there's reunited scenes and things like that, or things of that nature, and it's just like, but then they're using it here when they're saying goodbye for the first time or for the last time or whatever, and it just doesn't work. It's just a disconnect here, and I always just wish this scene would have been done better. Kind of like I said at the beginning of this, where they just like have the kid actually either like think the mom's coming back or not, like, or something along those lines. Okay, so my number 1 worst scene of Lost is really simple. Number 1, Hurley destroying his food.
I guess I kind of kept some of it for myself. Wish I could just get rid of it.
You want to change? Then change.
Okay, this one's really simple. You're on a deserted island. You have minimal supplies. What are you doing, Hurley? If you don't want your food, if you're trying to fix yourself, give the food away to other people. Have Libby do it if you're embarrassed by it. I mean, you don't throw it out. You just don't do it. Yeah. I don't know what more to say. Yeah, I mean, that always bothered me so much. Like, I know people throw out food all the time. I throw out food, but like, there's other food. When you're in that situation, you use every piece of food you have because you don't know if people are going to survive. I know it's ranch and chips, but don't throw it out. Okay. So there you go. Those are my top 4 worst scenes of all of Lost. And tune in next time when we're going to do the top 15 best characters of Lost. So that should be pretty exciting. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this page on your way out so you can find the Lost videos next month. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what your worst scenes of the show are. And take care. Hey, so I'm recording this after I edited the video, and I gotta tell you guys, it was very interesting watching both the Jack and Locke fight scene and the scene where Kate cries over Aaron without the original score. Recording it over my own voice or seeing it without the score, the scenes just look so much better. So I really believe that my issues with those two scenes are not so much the acting in the scenes or even the cinematography in the scenes, though I gotta say they were both kind of dark. And the other problem with the Jack and Locke fight scene is just the choreography as well and the camera movement. The scene itself is just extremely jumpy, and you can't really follow what's going on half the time. It kind of reminded me of the Obi-Wan Anakin Skywalker fight from Revenge of the Sith. And that was another problem with the scene as well. I think it's more or less the scores just did not match up to the scenes and kind of ruined them for me. Because watching them without the scores, they just seem so much better. So that's kind of my takeaway, because I maybe you guys were thinking the same thing, like, oh, how does this guy hate these two scenes? They look so good. And yeah, I kind of agree. Like it's crazy. And remember, last point, I don't hate any of these scenes. These are just my least favorite scenes of all of Lost. So that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in for this after credits. Take care.